Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's live stream show. I'm Judy the YouTube Lawyer. Today we have some exciting news that has just occurred this week. The first one I'd like to mention, which many of you guys have probably already heard, is that Charlie Adelson's attorney has filed a motion for a continuance. He wants to put off the trial in the case until July or August of this year. And Mentor Lawyer already read this whole thing as soon as he got this. So I don't think I need to read through the whole thing. And it is kind of a bummer. Mentor Lawyer thinks that it probably is going to be granted because there has been no other continuance before. And, Rashbaum is just only asking for it to be delayed another, about 3 to 4 months from when it was normally supposed to take place. So I'm not sure, but if Mentor Lawyer thinks this is likely to be granted, then it probably is going to be granted, although he does say that the state does oppose it. So, but there is really good news in here. If you read further, he's giving reasons as to why he needs a continuance, mainly because he needs more time to be able to review all the evidence that has been dumped on them. And look here, number 2, it says that the materials it's amassed includes WhatsApp chats, social media postings, bank records, and other financial documents. So that makes me really excited because for all this time that I've been watching the Markel case, a lot of people have been wondering, what's going on with WhatsApp? Is it even possible to get the information that might have been exchanged between the co-conspirators that were done through WhatsApp? So it looks like, based on this filing, that the state did indeed get a lot of information from WhatsApp, and that stuff has been turned over to Charlie's attorneys. So that's really, really exciting news to me. Also, some more exciting news is that, as far as I know, Katherine Magbanua has been deposed at the beginning of this month, and they also gave Rashbaum 3 proffers from Katherine Magbanua, and that gives me a lot of excitement. I'm very optimistic that Katie did have some really good information, because why else would all this additional stuff be done to get her information? If she were of no use, they would have sent her back to prison by now. But instead, she's still in Leon County Jail, and this information is most likely going to be used in Charlie Adelson's trial against him, and that's why it was turned over by the state to Charlie's attorneys. So really great information. This is my interpretation of it, of course, but you can see for yourself here that in Rashbaum's motion for continuance, he's talking about all this stuff that has been given to him. The state has been diligent in meeting its discovery obligations, providing undersigned counsel with the materials it has amassed during its 9-year investigation, including more than 70 depositions, dozens of government interviews and reports, over 1,000 telephonic conversations captured on wires, many in Spanish, video recordings of several in-person encounters, and voluminous data files comprised of call detail records, emails, text messages, WhatsApp chats, social media postings, bank records, and other financial documents. So he's saying, due to sheer volume of discovery, seriousness of the charges, the need to complete their own investigation, they need a continuance. And he wants it moved until late July or August of 2023. So I was thinking more about, what might also be Rashbaum and Charlie Adelson's motivations in putting this off until sometime later in the summer. And I'm thinking that, it could also be to benefit the Adelsons so that they have more time to spend with their kids in freedom. Maybe they're thinking that based on the timing of Charlie's arrest compared to when Katie's trial happened, that if anybody else is going to get arrested, it might not happen until right before the trial happens. So that could be one reason they want to push it off, so that grandma and grandpa and Wendi have more time with the kids. And if Charlie is convicted, then the conviction wouldn't happen until the kids are out of school, so they won't be faced with a bunch of classmates and their families all hearing about the conviction and talking to the kids about it. I mean, that could be. I mean, it's just a total wild guess there, but I think maybe the timing of things. Also, I think a lot of Dan's friends and former colleagues would probably be more likely to be gone during the summer, because most professors, especially law professors, have other places to be during the summer, or they might be teaching classes someplace else during the summer. So that could also be another slight motivating factor for Charlie and his attorneys to want to just push it off until later in the summer, when people are more likely to be out of town, those people who would be likely to show up in court to watch what's going on. So who knows? But we shall see, because as you guys know, the case management hearing that was supposed to be this morning got postponed until Tuesday at 10 a.m. So that's why we didn't do our live stream on Deep Dive True Crime today. Mentor Lawyer and I were supposed to discuss it today at 1, but we're going to put that off until Tuesday at 1 after the hearing, so we have more to discuss. So let me take a look here. Thank you, Fancy Fiction, and Angela. Don DeKisto is here. Lots of people that have really been watching the case and have lots of information to share. Thank you to you all for being so devoted to this case and making sure people know the true facts or the information that's going on about the Dan Markel case. Okay, so thank you guys. I'm just reading through some of the comments right now. Okay, so let's see, I'll probably scroll back up. Oh, okay. Where did we get the info that Katie was deposed? Okay, so this is based on memory, but I'm pretty sure I saw it flashed up on the screen, maybe during one of Mentor Lawyer's live stream shows. I don't know, maybe about a week or two ago, because I remember seeing something that looked like some sort of like computer records, official looking records going across the screen that mentioned something about Katie being deposed on February 9th. So let's see, I thought depositions are publicly subpoenaed and listed in discovery. Maybe I'm confused. Yeah, so, well, maybe we can discuss this with Mentor Lawyer more on Tuesday when we have our joint live stream, which is going to be on his channel, Deep Dive True Crime. But that's just based on my memory, is that I saw something official looking go on the screen, and it looked like Katie had been deposed on February 9th, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but let's ask Mentor Lawyer, because he's the one that has access to all those records and can interpret them correctly, since he practices criminal law down in Florida. So let's see here. Oh, yeah. So that got me really excited. I was like, oh, my gosh, like for the last year and a half or so, you know, people have been constantly commenting and asking about WhatsApp and whether that information can be obtained or not. And I mean, I thought the consensus was that the WhatsApp stuff was not going to be accessible by law enforcement. But, you know, sounds like something has been obtained about the WhatsApp messages. So let's see, must be scared. What if Katie saved the text from Adelson's? Yeah, that would be really surprising, because, you know, Katie moved around a bit after the murder happened, but who knows what information they have and what she has to offer. Okay, so Shaquille Oatmeal, I like your name. If the judge does grant the continuance, what's to say that the defense won't ask for another continuance after 3 months? How do you know if defense is just gone? Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately it's up to the judge's discretion to decide whether to keep granting continuances. So they kept putting off Katie's trial partly because of COVID and other things that were coming up. But in this case, you know, I mean, it doesn't seem like COVID is an issue. So, and you don't have attorneys who are, you know, saying they're cancer survivors, and so they're concerned about, you know, being stuck in a courtroom with everybody due to COVID concerns. So, I mean, I can understand that though, because, granted, I don't practice criminal law in Leon County, but normally if you have some sort of court proceeding and some attorney has some good faith reason to need a continuance to put it off just a little bit, usually the judge will grant it if it's the first time that the person has asked for a continuance. So, we'll see what happens. But on the other hand, let me remove this. And I know this is not really new news to people who have been following the case very diligently, as I have, day by day to see what's going on. But there's this really great filing that the media has filed in opposition to Rashbaum's motion to keep Katie's proffer and all that information confidential until after she testifies or until after Charlie's trial is over. So I'm just going to flash that up on the screen, but not read it word for word, of course. Okay, so thank you, WCTV and Court TV, for filing this really well-written motion where they give a lot of case law and say that based on Florida's sunshine laws that Charlie's attorney has not made a good showing of facts that make it seem like this information needs to be confidential. So they speak collectively of this information as the Magbanua records. Okay, so for example, they say, in any event, Mr. Adelson does not cite to any fact or evidence in support of his motion other than the publicity surrounding his trial. The administration of justice in Florida courts is by rule and statute subject to maximum transparency. Okay, so anyway, this is a bunch of legal citations about how typically, especially in Florida, the public has had the right to know what's going on and to be able to see all the evidence. It's part of building trust in the judicial system. Okay. And I'll just kind of scroll through a little bit of it for people who really want to watch on replay and read every bit of this. And yeah, so as many people have guessed, we feel that the basis of this motion is really to protect the Adelson family, because it seems like more likely than not, Katie has a lot of really incriminating, damaging evidence, not only against Charlie, but probably also against Donna and Wendi Adelson, maybe even Harvey Adelson. So this is mainly about protecting their reputations and giving them X number of months more of privacy to be able to still go out in public and meet with all their friends and supporters without having all this really bad publicity and bad information against them brought forth to the public. Although I have a feeling that people who are still supporting the Adelsons at this time probably don't even read much of the media or read much about the case, because a lot of it really would paint them in a negative light. So, okay, so they're saying a great deal of potentially prejudicial information already has been made public in this case, leaving no justification for restricting access to the Magbanua records. Okay, so thank you, Ballard's Bar, which is a very prestigious law firm, for filing this opposition. And so Judge Wheeler is also expected to rule on this on Tuesday at the 10 o'clock case management hearing. So we'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe he will take some time to do his own legal research or read over all the case law and stuff and issue his decision later. But it is expected to be heard on Tuesday with the case management hearing. So, okay, so let me remove that here. Okay. Let's see, let me scroll all the way back down. Oh, okay. So you noticed again. Okay. Is Judy wearing the Wendi dress? Yeah, I just keep wearing this dress over and over again. I don't know why. I feel compelled to keep wearing it. Okay. She can react to the eye batting move Wendi did to the jury. Oh, well, I already did that when True Lifestyles and Joel from Surviving the Survivor read Wendi Adelson's deposition. And you guys probably saw in the comments that there was somebody that was very, very offended that I was mocking Wendi and that I was making those little eye movements and faces and stuff. And that person thought I was being so unprofessional and a disgrace to the legal profession. So anyway, so no more eye batting because some people might get triggered by that. But I think that person that was so easily triggered has already stopped watching my videos, or I might have already blocked that person. So anyway, but here I am wearing this dress. It doesn't fit me very well because unlike Wendi, I'm not very tall. So this didn't come in a petite size. So it doesn't fit me very well. But I just thought it would be funny to keep wearing it. Wouldn't it be funny if Katie wore the Wendi dress when she testifies at Charlie's trial along with Botox and a straightened coiffure? Yeah, and she dyes her hair blonde again, right? Yeah, that would be funny. Yeah, unfortunately, Dawn, yeah, the number of people following the Markel case is negligible. Yeah, I get the feeling a lot of people are really, really interested in that Alex Murdaugh case right now, but I have been following it, but the last time I did a live stream talking about the Murdaugh case, I didn't get that many views. So it's kind of like, well, it's really hard keeping up with cases to the point where I feel comfortable talking about it on a live stream and risk getting all these people angry at me and saying that I got the facts wrong and stuff. So anyway, I don't think I'll be doing another live stream about Murdaugh. Okay, they do the eye batting when they're lying. So, yeah. Okay, block that person they saw. Okay, thank you, Fancy. There's been so much time for this case to become public. So yes, there's a lot of public information. Yeah, you already blocked that person. Yeah, okay. Yep, got to get my monies out of this dress. Yeah, money's worth. Okay. Charlie was doing a lot of eye movements too. That's when his little brain is turning, saying, no, not true, when it is true. Yeah, he was making some faces and eye rolls and looking exasperated during his hearing. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Do I bring joy to this tragedy? Yeah, speaking of joy to the tragedy. Okay, so I did want to mention, okay, I don't want to be like, saying anything negative about Dan's friends, because these friends did also speak with, was it 2020 or Dateline Date? They did speak on one of those big network specials about the Markel case years ago. So a couple of other things that happened in the last week is in regards to coverage of the Markel case, Mentor Lawyer did release a couple more videos and information about the case. And the first one was only accessible to his Patreons, but it was the police interview of Dan's friends, the Greenbergs, who spoke with police just about maybe 4 days after he was shot. And I was just really kind of like, I don't know, puzzled by how jovial and how, they just seemed like really like too happy and like, just smiling a lot and seeming really giddy during the police interview while talking about this. And I'm thinking, well, geez, your good friend just got murdered. And why do you have to have such a happy-go-lucky attitude in the police interview? But of course, as everybody says, people react differently to grief and shock and stuff. And maybe they were just getting along so well with the police officers that were talking with them that, they just took on this very lighthearted, jovial tone for almost the whole entire interview. But they did have a lot of really important things to say. They talked about how deeply affected and wounded Dan was when Wendi decided to leave him and wanted to divorce him, and that Dan seemed so emotionally needy at times that he would just keep going over to their house. Sometimes Dan and the kids would also spend the night at their house, and they would have to basically tell him bluntly that it was time to go because Dan just didn't want to leave them. So it kind of makes you sad to think that, Dan was so troubled by the breakup of his marriage to Wendi, that he just basically clung on to these good friends for dear life and would tell them so much information about his dating life. I mean, it did seem kind of weird that he was talking to them and telling his friends details about these different flings that he had with different law professors, including someone who was married at the time. And so ultimately, toward the very end of the police interview, these friends did mention that at the memorial service, they thought it was really, really weird that Harvey Adelson would not talk to them. And the wife in this couple, herself being a dentist, she said that there had been other times when they had talked to Harvey before. I'm not really sure when, but apparently they had also previously been friends with Wendi too. So that the wife in this couple had previously had nice conversations with Harvey in the past, since they're both in the same dental field. So she thought it was really weird that Harvey just seemed to want to avoid her and wouldn't look her in the eye, and seemed very strange at the memorial service. Same thing with her husband. Like Harvey just seemed totally out of it and very strangely behaved. So that I find very interesting. And the friends also mentioned that the parents, the whole family, seemed especially mean and vindictive toward Dan after the divorce. And so the friends did suspect that perhaps maybe the Adelsons did hire a hitman to kill Dan, or perhaps it could have been an angry former student of Dan's, or maybe it was one of those women that Dan had had flings with before his murder. So anyway, so that was one new thing that came out, at least from my perspective in this case in the last week, thanks to Mentor Lawyer. Another thing that Mentor Lawyer put out on Deep Dive True Crime, which anybody can see, was the police interview of Mr. Schlazer, who was the last person Dan spoke with before he was shot. So that didn't really give me any really new information that I hadn't heard already, but it was still pretty interesting to actually see this person's interview and hear his words directly about what happened. He had never spoken to Dan before. So it was a mutual friend. There was a friend of Mr. Schlazer's who was also a law professor who was friends with Dan. And when Dan found out that Wendi had enrolled their oldest son, or put him in a lottery for this special school, and the child got chosen, picked through the lottery system. So it was all a surprise to Dan, because Wendi hadn't been communicating with him about this. So, of course, Dan wanted to know more about the school. So his colleague, the law professor, put Dan in touch with Mr. Schlazer, who was a music teacher there. And so Dan ended up texting a few times with the music teacher, and then Dan called the music teacher. They spoke very, very briefly before Schlazer heard some sort of weird noise. I mean, I don't think he specifically said it was a gunshot sound, but something happened. Dan had said, "Oh, excuse me, there's someone in my driveway who is unfamiliar to me." And so Schlazer thought perhaps Dan had put him on mute or something. There was some weird sound, and then Schlazer heard really deep, labored breathing, and he kept asking, Mr. Markel, are you okay? And didn't get an answer. So he hung up. Then he texted Dan, didn't get an answer. And then he thought that maybe Dan had had a heart attack. So this is what's really great about Mr. Schlazer, is that he quickly went on the, like a register of deeds type of website for the county, because it sounded like Dan had stopped driving and was back at home. So he quickly looked up Dan's home address, and then he called 911 and told them that he thought something had happened to Dan, and here's his address. And the 911 caller told him that they had already gotten a call by then. So Schlazer then called the mutual friend who's a law professor and said something, I think something happened to your friend. I was just talking to him, and then, our call just suddenly ended. I thought he had a heart attack, something to that effect. So the poor guy, he had never even talked to Dan before, and then he ends up being a witness to basically the murder of Dan Markel. At the end of this video that Mentor Lawyer just put up on his channel, he also included the audio of a police interview with someone named Juan Vega. I'm pretty sure that's the name. And after listening to it, I was like, what is this? This doesn't sound relevant at all. But I guess basically this guy, Juan Vega, was also part of the Latin Kings. And so he was also suspected of possibly being involved with the murder. And of course, Mr. Vega is just heard on the recording basically saying, I don't know what's going on. I was in prison or something, I think from the comments that maybe Katherine Magbanua's attorneys had tried to point a finger at this guy or something to that effect. But I guess it became pretty obvious early on that this person, Mr. Vega, had nothing to do with Dan's murder. So that was the end of that. So those are the bits of news from this week in the Dan Markel case. And geez, let me get something to drink because my voice is failing as usual. So, okay. Let's see, scroll back up to where I last. Yeah, sorry, I have to skip around and stuff. Okay. The Adelson should have invested in burner phones instead of WhatsApp. Well, according to what I recall, Lacoste mentioning, Wendi had gotten rid of her cell phone within a week of Dan's murder and told him that it was because she was afraid her phone was being tapped. So these are all allegations, right? So yeah, that is pretty interesting. Yeah, can you imagine living your life being afraid that your phone is being tapped and your house is being wiretapped also? Like, how would you manage to communicate with your family and friends, especially if they are co-conspirators with you for murder? Yeah, someone told me 2 to 3 continuances are standard and usually given. Okay, well, it seemed like that in Katie's trial, but I sure hope it doesn't get continued over and over again. That would just be awful. Okay. Raining like cats and dogs. Okay. Yeah, so you notice, yeah, I got to get my money's worth out of this dress that I bought used. So, yeah. Okay. Yes, that's right. 2:28, 10 a.m. Eastern time for case management and hearing. Okay, so Deep Dive True Crime is going to live stream that. Okay, so y'all notice. Okay, Rash Bomb, Bourbone's motion, embarrassing. Yeah, he's got to earn his keep, right? He's got to do what he can to protect his client. And I'm sure this would really, really benefit the Adelsons. It's not just Charlie, but it's also for his whole family. I called his arguments garden variety. Well, I don't know if you would say embarrassment because he is their attorney, so he's obligated to do all this stuff, to protect his clients and do what his clients want. So Dan's family has, yes, I agree, have waited way, way too long already for the final outcome of it. I hope the judge denies them. Yes, I agree too, because, everybody's just getting older as time goes on. It becomes even harder for everybody to participate. And then, the neighbor that first ran over there and saw Dan, he's also up in age. I think he's probably close to 80 years old now. So it's just really tough on everybody involved, emotionally as well as physically. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking of maybe writing up a parody to, thanks to Angela, that Tom Jones song, Sex Bomb. So let's make a parody of it called Rash Bomb. Okay, because I've already been working on a parody of Wendi Adelson's deposition to an R&B hit called I Deserve. We're going to call it I Assert. Okay, he should just be a good sport about it, know that his client will lose and move on. Stop this pony show already. Justice for the Markels. Yeah, but that's not the way criminal defense attorneys think. I mean, they don't really care about justice for the victim's family. They're there to work for their paying client, right? So, I fell asleep listening to your commentary on Rashbaum's motion last night. I think Laura put him up to it. He did the minimum. Yeah, because Rashbaum also was Donna and Harvey's attorney before, right? Or at least Donna's. Okay, I doubt Charlie cares about publicity. It smells like Wendi Adelson. Yeah, because everybody wants to have even more time having their ability to live their best lives without all this information coming out against them. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I scrolled too far up. Okay, let me see what more comments. Okay. With Katie in prison, does that reduce her credibility? Yeah, I mean, obviously, in general, Katie's credibility is not good because she already got convicted and sentenced to life before she suddenly changed her story. But there were a couple of really good comments on my last video by someone who I believe is a very experienced criminal defense attorney, so I'm not going to out him or anything, but he did have some good comments about accomplices and their credibility in cases against their co-conspirators. So, I mean, that person, who I believe is a very experienced attorney, like I said, seems to believe that Katie is going to be useful, and that, you're basically stuck with these witnesses. Not every witness is going to be like a 5-star witness with impeachable credibility. There's always going to be credibility issues when you have accomplices or co-conspirators testifying against each other. So let me see here. It's kind of hard to click around, and yeah, so a lot of times I just don't have time to jump in and start going back and forth in the comments anymore because there's just so many comments. So this person said, an accomplice can be a very important witness to a state when corroborated with testimony from other witnesses and physical (parentheses, tangible) evidence. And the person also said, any witness's credibility, especially an accomplice, is bolstered by corroboration. And the person also said, I've watched many trials where co-conspirators or accomplice-type witnesses cut deals for the government. They win cases because they have personal knowledge. They will lie too! Exclamation mark. You must independently show why they are credible in this or any case. You do that with other witnesses or tangible evidence. It works, and juries will convict if it's a persuasive case! Exclamation mark. Okay, so anyway, I trust this person, and really feel like it's great that we get such a big collective group of people that are very interested in a case, some of whom have had many years of experience in the criminal justice system or have practiced as public defenders or prosecutors. So anyway, so that person has faith that Katie will in fact be a positive effect in the prosecution of Charlie Adelson and who knows who else. So yeah, hi everybody. Oh yeah, this I have no idea. Yeah, wasn't there a new episode on Dan's case supposed to come out like last fall or something? Yeah, so I haven't heard anything else about it. So who knows what happened there. Yeah, but it's okay because whatever they put out is probably not as up to date as what we all have going on YouTube here, with a lot of people really paying attention to all the details of the case. Yeah. Poor Dan, he was lost without his family. Harvey could not make eye contact with anyone, evidently. Yeah, that was just like interesting to hear that even these friends of Dan's noticed that Harvey was behaving strangely. If Charlie goes to trial, do you think Donna, Harvey, and Wendi will testify? No, they wouldn't, because especially Donna and Wendi, they've already been named as co-conspirators. And so, well, with Wendi, I don't know if the state would give her another immunity pass to allow her to testify, knowing that whatever she says there would not be used against her. But definitely, definitely Harvey and Donna would just, plead the fifth, and they don't have to testify. So, So definitely no to Harvey and Donna. Wendi, I'm not sure. Although I still feel like, there are other ways to establish the background of the case without necessarily having Wendi testify. Okay. He was at the murder scene mere minutes before his wife and son were gunned down. Short window of opportunity. Oh, you're talking about the Murdaugh case. I was like, okay, that's interesting. How much is this going to cost? Oh, well, so that's some more news that I have. Of course, it's all like secondhand or third-hand information, but Mentor Lawyer said that he spoke with Daniel Rashbaum a while ago when they played tennis, and that Rashbaum had said he was getting paid a flat fee. So who knows what that could be? That could be millions. And we don't know if it's going to be paid out in small chunks or if there's like certain conditions, but definitely attorneys have to be very careful when you do things on a flat fee basis, because you could wind up getting totally screwed over doing a ton of work, and it's not worth it when you look at what your hourly rate should have been. So that's just a rumor that Charlie is being charged a flat fee. Okay. Let's see. Let's talk about Magbanua's credibility. Katie's newish Dan Markel case. Okay, well, as a witness, yeah, sort of. Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Anyone wants to help her out? Yeah, but I'm sure that the investigators would have talked to other witnesses who could have also backed her up, like her brothers, for example. And who knows if they have tried to contact Sigfredo. I'm not sure. Wouldn't that be interesting if Sigfredo finally came clean? Okay. I think she would be used on the stand, though. Yeah, I mean, if her information is good enough to the point where they got these proffers and turned them over to Charlie's attorneys, then I think they would put her on the stand, because that could be more helpful than damaging in getting a conviction against Charlie, because she was actually there. She was actually in on it with Charlie and can testify a lot as to what was being said and done between the two of them and possibly the other family members. Okay, police interview. Yeah, he hasn't put it up on YouTube, so I don't know if he's planning to or not, but I guess that's an incentive for people to become Patreons of Deep Dive True Crime, right? Yeah, because he has to give something special to people in exchange for them being Patreons. So yeah, so that's right. It's not publicly available. Okay. Oh, great. Okay, so Dawn says she's going to talk about the Murdaugh case on her channel, so please be sure to subscribe to Dawn's channel. If you kill your sister's spouse without discussing with her, it's a matter of time. When do you sleep well? As long as you can. Okay. So talking about the Murdaugh case here. Yeah, that's right. He thought Dan had a heart attack because he heard labored breathing or rattle breathing. Yeah, very sad. Perhaps Charlie, please, by Thanksgiving, in my opinion, going to trial would be like sticking your head in a mulcher. No guess as to whether Charlie ever cooperates. Yeah, so exactly. We still don't know. I mean, there's always the chance that Charlie could cooperate in exchange for some lighter sentence, but who knows? I mean, I sort of doubt it, but you never know. I mean, I really didn't think that after Katie got convicted that she'd suddenly do an about face and now want to cooperate and be able to also. Yeah. Oh, this is awful. Yeah, death rattle breathing are often heard when someone's about to die. Yeah. Okay, the Adelson Chevy smoke signal. Yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of it was done in person, right? Just my guess. Again, this is all just opinion and commentary. And Wendi, Donna, and Harvey Adelson have not been charged with any crimes. They write notes to each other and burn them. Okay, 1 to 3 continuances is normal in uncomplicated, simple cases. Okay. Well, but in this case, it's Charlie's own attorney wanting continuances. So, I mean, he does have a right to a speedy trial, but on the other hand, I guess he/his attorney believe that they need more time. Maybe that's part of their own strategy. Yeah. Hi, Teresa. Yeah, that's right. The speedy trial is for the defendant, not the prosecutors. I think the state should swat hard and at least arrest evil Donna. Yeah, I mean, I really thought she would have been arrested by now. So I hope she's still enjoying her time, taking care of those grandchildren and being out and about. If your kids, were at your ex's house and you happen to drive by, there was police tape anywhere near the house, wouldn't any mother rush towards the scene? Yeah, that's exactly right. But the way Wendi would say it, she thought it was a downed tree because it could have been an electrical storm. Okay. They need to arrest Turkey Neck Donna. Okay. They are not normal with speedy trials, but if the defendant asks for a speedy trial, he can forfeit that. Yeah, that's right. Okay, leave the turkey. Okay. Yeah, Katie proclaimed her innocence until the very end. That's right. It wasn't until it was going to benefit her after she already got sentenced to life. Then she is now trying to tell a totally different story. I'll remember those comments that Katie will be fine. Can't find anything on Katie's deposition. Oh, okay. So that's a good question. Okay. Yeah, well, maybe I totally misinterpreted something that I saw, but I thought I saw something about Katie's deposition having been taken. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Sophia. Thanks, everybody, for being here again. After Katie's proffer, will she testify? I think she will. Because if the proffer is good enough to have been turned over. So remember on, is it Surviving the Survivor, where Tim Jansen, the criminal defense attorney from Florida, said that if Katie's proffer was useless, then the state didn't have any obligation to turn over that information to Charlie's attorney anyway. But they did turn over a drive with all that information. So I would assume Katie would be testifying at Charlie's trial against him. Okay, to explain what goes on in the gutter, you need to have someone testify who is from the gutter. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, no, it's not on. No, they're not seeking the death penalty against him. Yeah, that's right. Thanks for answering. LJ, that's for sure. I can't think like a criminal, so I don't understand all their calculating and cutting behaviors for lame reasons. Just get a job and keep your nose clean. Doesn't seem that hard. That's right. But some people think that it's easy money to help kill off somebody, and they're desperate for that cash. Yeah. Okay, I don't think I can live through another one of her Wendi Adelson performances. Please, no immunity for Wendi, travesty of justice. Okay. Waiving the death penalty makes the case much easier for Georgia to prosecute. Stacks over $100, stapled, lots of them. Okay. Okay, we probably need a death penalty attorney to explain that, but they definitely get, they get the rights to appeal. Let's see, are there any strategic changes to the prosecution's questioning of Wendi and Charlie's trial? Versus the tone she was on the stand. That's a good question. I mean, it's going to be, I think it's going to be very different now that the state has already said not only is she a co-conspirator, but, who knows, maybe they are planning on arresting Wendi soon, depending on what information they got from WhatsApp and Katie also. So I don't know. It's a big question mark. I don't know how their strategy is going to change, though. That's like something that you really have to think hard about, and it would still just be a wild guess also on my part. Yeah. So Wendi given immunity helps make the case against Charlie. It's only a limited immunity. Yeah, because she would probably, be happy to point the fingers at him, whereas his attorney will probably point the fingers at her. So, yeah, Harvey and Donna are cheap, flat fee, not good, especially if they put it on their credit card. Yeah, they'll be like disputing the credit card bill later on if Charlie loses, right? Okay, you need to change your name. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, Katie. Okay, because everybody's talking about Katie here, and then Dawn was referring to you when she was talking about Katie. Okay, I get it. So. Just saying hi after a long week. Hi, Lady Cymbeline. Thank you for always being here and always having good information and responding to people's questions. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Magbanua. Yeah. Katie Magbanua versus the Katie that does the live streams with Dawn DeKisto on her channel. So, okay. I think mentor lawyer explained it way back when Charlie was first arrested and the death penalty was not charged. Okay. Wonder if Donna believed these bozos would pull it off. Yeah, but I don't think Donna had actual interaction. Well, definitely not with Lewis, probably not with Sigfredo. I think they thought that they were good in insulating themselves and letting Charlie / Katie handle things. But whether Wendi actually talked with Sigfredo is another question, as well as with Katie. I was just thinking about packing up. Then I saw this live. Oh, okay. Well, sorry to keep you from going home if you're at work right now. Yeah, thank you for being here. Okay, so definitely check out Deep Dive True Crime. That's his channel. He goes by Mentor Lawyer, but his real name is James. So when Wendi made the TV comment saying her brother was going to hire a hitman, but the TV was cheaper, shouldn't she be allowed to testify? But yeah, she did. She did testify as to that in Katie's trial. Yeah, because like her whole attitude was that, oh, it was just a joke. It's just a joke. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, fewer procedural issues. Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, I like seeing pictures of your cat. Yeah. So if Wendi doesn't get arrested, so that state can use her testimony against Charlie while giving her immunity again. Would Wendi testify against Charlie, part of a plea deal? Okay. Well, this is where I don't want to say anything wrong here, so maybe I should just keep my mouth shut here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so it could be that if she does get arrested first, then of course she wouldn't testify. Yeah. So that's a big question. I have no idea. That's up to the prosecution to decide, like what order are they going to arrest certain people if they do have enough evidence against them, and would they still want to give or need to give Wendi immunity in order to build the case against Charlie? Yeah. So let's see, hit the like button. Thank you. It's Sigfredo cooperating. You would think, because he has nothing left to lose. So I would just guess, Sigfredo's brain is totally fried from all those years of doing drugs and drinking, and his memory probably wasn't very good to begin with. Because remember, he was doing drugs the whole time during their trip to Tallahassee, according to Lewis. So who knows what he'd be able to say at this point, even if he wanted to help go after the evil Adelsons. So yeah, I would hope he would cooperate, but maybe he just doesn't even have the brain capacity to be able to say anything useful at this point, because it's been so many years. It actually helps every time that Wendy's testifies, so I'm looking forward to it. Also, we can all bet on what her dress will be. Yeah, no, I don't think she's going to wear the same gray dress again, because that would just be totally wacky and subject her to a lot more ridicule. Yeah, I blame Wendi the most. Her children's father. Okay, hi. Thank you for being here, everybody. Again, I think the only way Sigfredo will cooperate is if they establish Lewis did the shooting. Otherwise, he won't. Yeah, it could be. Who knows? Maybe he's still so mad at his childhood friend that he wouldn't want to cooperate. But you would think he'd want to get back at Charlie Adelson at least. Yeah. So if he had anything good to say against Charlie Adelson or the other family members, you would think that he would cooperate at this point, especially after hearing that Katie is cooperating. Okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Sigfredo did the shooting. Wonder if Sigfredo had WhatsApp. Yeah, who knows? Yeah, I never even heard about WhatsApp until just a few years ago, but apparently some people really loved using WhatsApp all the time. Yeah, and they probably thought that it was all going to be private and never discoverable. Katie lied for so many years. Now she's ready to come clean. She must have gotten a sweet deal. Yeah, who knows what the deal is going to be. Yeah, so that part is still unknown also. Maybe they haven't even given her a straight up offer yet. Great question. What was up with Rashbaum putting WhatsApp evidence in his continuance letter? Missed a detail somewhere. Lewis testified while in custody Why couldn't Wendi Adelson? Oh, because Lewis had already made a deal. So his deal was that he would agree to testify for the state as long, and in exchange, he would just have to serve an additional 7 years in prison on top of his 12-year sentence for the drug-related charges. Whereas if Wendy's just in jail, but she hasn't been convicted yet, I don't think she has to. Yeah, she doesn't need to because of the Fifth Amendment right not to be a witness against herself. Okay, so that's just my explanation. If I got it wrong, somebody who knows more about criminal law in Florida, please feel free to correct me. The very limited immunity Wendi gets is only for the background info that she has already testified to. Okay, yeah, okay. I think they said they didn't believe a jury would convict Katie and Sigfredo if they were going for the death penalty, since they would want both the parents to the same kids. Yeah, I think that was it. And plus, people have said also that Dan Markel was not in favor of the death penalty in general, so he was against it. I really hope they bring back Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, he should be a witness also. He was a solid witness regarding the stapled money than anybody else was. Interestingly, he was a defense witness, not a state witness. Yeah, but on this, in Charlie's case, yeah, you would think the state would use him as a witness for them. Okay. When they arrested Sigfredo, sorry, need some water here. Yeah, he had cocaine on him apparently. Yeah. And when the Adelsons allegedly first gave him $5,000 cash, he already spent it all on drugs or something. So yeah, he's clearly not a responsible person. He probably does have severe mental problems or low IQ or just bad memory in general. Okay, is he going to win? I don't know. Yeah, he wants me to play tennis against him if I go to Tallahassee. It's going to be just like a total, it's going to be, as Fancy would say, it'll be a clown show, right? Because I can't play tennis well at all. So, yep, huge cokehead. Yep. Plus, Charlie shit on Ryan, so that would be great payback the right way. Yeah, that's right. They were involved in a lawsuit, and I still haven't gotten around to getting that lawsuit information. Yeah, so it's kind of good that after all these years, Charlie has pissed off so many people, and a lot of his former friends, as well as girlfriends, have turned against him. So hopefully whoever has valuable information would, in fact, be helpful for the prosecution. Yeah. Hi, True Lifestyles. Thanks for being here. Do you think Wheeler will delay the trial because of too much evidence? So weird. Yeah, I don't know, but, Mentor Lawyer guesses that it is going to be granted. So if the continuance is granted until late July or August, I guess those of us who want to go to the trial will just have to, bring our shorts and tank tops and be sweating in Tallahassee for the trial. So Sigfredo and Katie got to talk to each other on the phone in jail. I'm not sure. In one of ML's videos, this was mentioned. What do you think they both talked? Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, I don't know anything about the rules there about prisoners talking to each other in jail. Yeah, I thought they weren't allowed to, but what do I know? Yeah, I mean, I would think that if any communication were going to be made, it would have to be through the attorneys, maybe. Yeah, so that's another thing to ask Mentor Lawyer about on Tuesday. Yeah, have they said, oh, yes, Katie has decided that she is going to be a witness for the state in exchange for some sort of deal, but we don't know what the deal is yet. Yeah, exactly. Okay, you don't want to hear Papa. Yeah, I'm getting kind of tired of the whole Murdaugh thing. That guy just really annoys me, like hearing him on the stand and all his like phony, shaky, like ultra Southern twang voice. It really grates on me. Yeah. I remember seeing something about three-way call in Katie's jail paperwork. Yeah, it could have been done, with someone helping them to bend the rules. So Right now, Katie has life without parole and 2 30-year sentences running consecutive. The only thing I would think they would give her is a chance at parole and maybe concussion. No, I have a feeling like they might be willing to give her a much better deal, like, spend another 15, 20 years in prison and then she can get out, or spend another even 10 years in prison, as long as she helps them get at the people who are truly behind the whole murder plot. So we'll see. I'm just taking a wild guess, though. What if Charlie is trying to make a deal? I don't think Rashbaum has scheduled any depots except Geiger next week. Okay. Well, yeah, who knows? I don't know if he wants to make a deal at this point. He seems to spend a lot of time talking to his mom on the phone. So I don't think that he would make any sort of deal that would necessarily incriminate his own mother. And of course, even True Lifestyles sleuthing has shown that Charlie is still talking to his father sometimes too. So I have no idea. I think it would be very unlikely that Charlie would be able to make any sort of deal because of his ties to his parents, especially his mom. Yeah, but again, that's just some opinion of mine, so what do I know? Lewis is due in Leon County Jail April 10th. Yeah, if the trial is delayed, will he stay put in Tucson until late summer, or does he need to be in Tally for deposition for defense? Yeah, that's a good question. I would probably guess that even if the trial is delayed, they might just still bring him to Tallahassee anyway, because I don't know about all this red tape and paperwork and, the procedure of transporting somebody all the way across the country to be a witness in a trial. But the defense does have the ability or the right to depose him, which I'm sure they would. So, yeah, so I would still expect him to be transported here by April 10th. Yeah, that's just another guess. Yeah. Which police interview was weirder, Wendi or Alec Murdaugh? Okay, yeah, I haven't heard the whole police interview of Alec Murdaugh. Yeah, so, but I did see that it was sort of a funny video that Mentor Lawyer also put up within the last week or two, where he compared Wendy's police interview segments to Mark Severs, the man that was convicted of hiring a hitman to kill off his wife, who was a doctor. So I just thought it was actually pretty hilarious the way that man was acting in his police interview with all his like weird noises and strange behavior and stuff. Yeah. Murdaugh's accent and infantile phrases drive. Yeah, he is so weird, the way he puts on a show and stuff. I mean, I think he's totally guilty of killing his wife and son. So that's my opinion on Murdaugh. Yeah. Isn't a violation on the attorney's part to put Katie and Sigfredo on the line with one another? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but again, I don't want to say anything wrong because I really don't know much about the Florida whole, what rules there are with different criminal defendants talking to each other on the phone. So let's save that for Tuesday when we talk with Mentor Lawyer. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Charlie should make a deal. Yeah, who knows? But he loves his mommy too much. He's not going to rat on his mom. I don't think so. I mean, it still seems like they're constantly talking to each other all the time. Who else is going to still be his best buddy if he ever got out of jail, if he ever got out of prison? Yeah. Okay, and only James Geiger Depot. Okay, Sigfredo had been arrested like 17 times. Yeah, he's like a career criminal. For those of us who watch Murdaugh, is an absolute sociopath too. Yep, perhaps a distant relative of Charlie. Yeah. Magbanua sure knows how to pick them. Yeah, and that's what Kawas tried to use to their advantage, to say, well, she has terrible choice of men, but you can't convict her for that. Well, yeah, well, good that argument did. Can't wait to see Dan get full justice, meaning all the Adelsons behind bars. Yeah, well, of course, except the oldest brother, Rob, who had absolutely nothing to do with it. Yeah. Does Donna have IBS? Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I mean, it is kind of weird that she was stressed out and having nonstop diarrhea as a result of that. Usually you hear about people's stomach hurting like their stomach hurts when they're stressed out. I haven't heard about somebody having like constant diarrhea because they're stressed out, but okay, well, shouldn't be laughing about that, right? That's not professional to laugh about these things. Okay, continuance is guaranteed to be granted. If we go to trial, probably more continuances for sure. The big question is, will we get the proffer? Yeah, that's why after reading that media filing with their points of view as well as their citations to case law, I started feeling more optimistic that maybe we will be able to get the proffer. It should be made public. Why protect the reputations of this rich family even more? So, yeah, suspense until Tuesday. Too much evidence is music to my ears. Yeah, it's great to hear. When I saw that stuff about the WhatsApp chat information, I was like, yay, this is great. When everybody thought WhatsApp was a goner, that we'd never be able to find out the information. Yeah. Okay. Watching the Murdaugh case will have you craving cornbread and grits. Yeah, I like cornbread and grits. Yeah. But I was not interested in the case enough to actually drive down there because I don't live that far away from South Carolina. But yet it's like, ew, do I want to go to Walterboro and then have to like pay to stay at some motel around there and be in that courtroom? Yuck. Yeah, no thank you. I'll just watch on live stream on YouTube. I always thought Charlie might try and do a global plea. Yeah, well, I don't think he can do a global plea. Like, you mean like, yeah, because if he makes a plea deal, he's not going to be able to just cherry pick who he's going to rat out. So, I don't think that would be credible at all if he only pointed a finger at Wendi and claimed that his mom had nothing to do with it. Oh, yeah, that's what I was hoping to do, but I just didn't have enough time. I watched a tiny snippet of the shorter video, and now if you can let us know the name of Carl Steinbeck's YouTube channel. It was something like Jury something mentor. Yeah, but Carl Steinbeck, who is an attorney in Texas, has also been following the Markel case, and so he just put out a new video or two about the Markel case or Katherine Magbanua. Yeah, so that's something I need to watch later. Yeah, okay. Oh, when is your birthday? Is that when the trial is going to be or next week? Okay, so just let us know. Yeah, irritable bowel syndrome. Okay, yay for the Steinbeck brothers. I subscribe to their channel. They're not mesmerized by money. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, always nice to hear from other people who are really interested and knowledgeable about the case too. So, global plea would encompass all involved having to plea. It would knock our socks off. Yeah, but I doubt, especially since Harvey, Donna, and Wendi have not even been charged with any crime. Like, why would they step forward to admit any guilt? Yeah. Alex's police interview was not 5 hours long. Oh yeah, so you saw that Mark Severs is a trip. Yeah, I was like laughing at some of those parts. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Oh yeah, irritable bowel syndrome. That's what some people suspect Donna is probably suffering from. I don't know if she will get a much better deal after costing time and resources for 2 full trials. Could be wrong if she had come clean before the trial's a better deal. Yeah, well, her better deal was that she could have gotten off scot-free if she had been willing to tell the truth about everything and point the finger at the Adelsons or Charlie Adelson, but she turned that down and decided to roll the dice and have her trial and keep saying that she was totally innocent and had nothing to do with it. Bottom line, Fancy may be correct that Charlie is feeling out what would happen if all involved had to plead. Yeah, but again, at this point, all the people we suspect are involved have not even been charged or arrested yet. So Charlie only has to deal with his own, saving his own hide at this point. Yeah, Alec Murdaugh is guilty of stealing husband. Yeah, he seems to have no redeeming qualities. Jeez. Okay. Okay. Need to look at the three-way call incident. Not sure it'd be good to promote Katie's bad behavior right now. Yeah. Yep, Donna and Wendi are still free, depending on what she has, but would be better for her to do this before she was found guilty after the trials. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Laser Wolf. Okay. I can tell Murdaugh is a lawyer because he has too much confidence in his lying ability, comes off as unaware That's what happens when you lie for a living. You lose your ability to come off as genuine. Yeah, it's just crazy that he's testifying in his own defense. He's just digging a hole for himself, and he looks like a total sleazeball and a weirdo. I don't know if she'll get a much better deal only because she wasted the time. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she had a really great deal. She could have just been released from prison if she had turned against the Adelsons, or at least Charlie. Maybe Charlie realized by now how his mom has been using him. Yeah, who knows? I mean, it just seemed like the two of them were just way too tightly bound and enmeshed. Georgia Kappelman on a subpoena robbed Adelson to testify about the family's character when they don't approve of a spouse. Yeah, maybe he would be relevant in Charlie's trial to talk about the family background and their totally intertwined relationship and their financial dealings. Maybe that's why Jose Baez is good and Tara is poor, in my opinion. Okay, and he's freaking arrogant. I'm against. We're waiting for justice. I truly believe we will see arrests soon. That's why Rashbaum is pushing this back. Yeah, exactly. That could be another motivation, thinking that if the trial happens soon, then more people will get arrested sooner. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. 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 Oh, okay. Hi, Helen Stewart. Thanks for tuning in. Can't wait for Donna to be picked up. Wendi will be really deep in the Pepto-Bismol. Okay, your birthday is when Lewis goes to Tallahassee. Okay, yeah. Charlie would have to have all involved in Dan's murder surrendered to Georgia. They might offer some form of accommodations. Yeah, well, okay. So, but anyway, as we know, only Charlie has been arrested, so there's no reason for the whole family to come forward and do anything. Yeah, why would they? Okay. Oh, okay. Thanks for that information. So this is the new YouTube channel that Carl has created, where he put up at least one or maybe two videos today talking about the case. Juror, trial, mentor. Okay, well, I'll definitely take a look at that later when I have a chance. Yes, so any member of the public can attend the trial. It's open to the public. So hopefully I plan on being there for at least a little bit, maybe just a few days, depends on how work is going and when it actually takes place. If they all know, okay. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be any sort of group family negotiations, like if certain family members think they can get away with murder, then they would certainly just keep mom. They're not going to approach the prosecutors. After all, they wouldn't even talk to investigators after Dan's funeral or after Dan's memorial service. So, okay, thank you. Yes, it's open to the public. Okay. Notice Wendi does not ring Charlie. How can an unindicted co-conspirator and Donna can talk with Charlie and arrestee? Yeah, again, let's ask mentor lawyer about that. Yeah, exactly. Although you would think that they're probably being very careful as to what they talk about on the jail phone system, because they have no privacy, no right to privacy there. Okay, sorry, I'm just kind of skipping ahead because my voice is giving out as usual here, so I really just kind of stopped talking. So, well, I don't know if it was just wanting full inheritance, but she certainly wanted Dan out of the picture, and I'm sure she knew that she would be the prime suspect if Dan died. So she had to make sure, if she were involved, that she had to make sure that signs didn't point to her, that there were intermediaries, other people involved. It's good if Charlie can speak to him. Yeah, they might say something incriminating. Who knows? Because Donna sure wasn't good about that when she was caught on wiretap right after the bump. Remember when Rashbaum used his crutches to go to the sidebar? Wonder if he has healed up. Yeah, he should have healed up by now. Yeah, so we believe he's in the Tucson jail or prison, federal prison. Okay, well, I think that would be very, very unusual for somebody to just, without even being arrested, want to make plea negotiations. But we can all ask mentor lawyer about that. Yep, he healed. Although maybe playing the tennis was before the ankle fracture. So, yeah. Okay, make a video starring Georgia Kappelman. Okay. Yeah, I am not any sort of like video editing genius or whatever, so I have no way of making a video where it looks like Georgia Kappelman is dancing around. And plus, there's always that issue of copyright issues on YouTube. So another reason why I can't really make a lot of funny videos, because there are copyright issues. So yeah, but that would be funny to have some sort of like homemade parody to Sex Bomb, calling it Rash Bomb. Oh, okay. He went through it with his family, left his wife. Huh. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I think my voice is totally shot. So before I get more nasty comments from people telling me to get somebody else to do the show. Yeah. Thank you. I need some hot tea and honey here. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's have a little bit more fun here with music. I like to leave it to the very end just in case I get hit with a copyright claim or a strike. And that way I could edit it out easily. So this is the Wendi Beach Boy song, a cappella. And so I've been listening to a lot of these like great songs on YouTube. And this is the one which, with a new computer, unfortunately I can't hear it, but it looks like people out in YouTube land can hear the song. So I'll go ahead and play it without me being able to hear it.
Left me alone, hurt so bad. Wendi, don't lose your head, lose your head. Wendi, don't believe a word he says. Who can picture you with him? His future looks awful dim. Oh, Wendi left me alone. Hurt so bad.
It's just a trip down memory lane. Okay, I think that's the end of it. It's kind of weird. Maybe
Guess I was wrong. The farthest thing from our mind was the day that I'd wake up to find my Wendi left me alone. Wendi left me alone. Hurt so bad. Wendi left me alone. Hurt so bad. Wendi left me alone. Hurt so bad.
okay. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of a funny song here. Get me a copyright claim, but it's a pretty impressive a cappella vocal cover by Daniel Paxton on his YouTube channel. So he didn't get a ton of views, but boy, that sounded really good for someone on YouTube to just sing it with no musical accompaniment. I wish I could sing so well. Okay, so too young to be, yeah. No, actually, I didn't know about the song, but then I started searching for songs that had to do with Wendi and found that. I was like, oh, that's a cool song, but there's no way I could sing it, so I needed to find a cover. Yeah. What if Charlie fired Rash Bomb? Wow. Well, I guess that would delay the trial even more if he fired his attorney, because that's what happened with that crazy Sarah Boone suitcase murder case, where she kept going through like 5 or 6 different public defenders. And that's why her trial has been put off for so many years. So anyway, let's hope that Rashbaum does not get fired. Okay. So, but I guess anything could happen. So, okay. Yeah, let's hope that Rashbaum stays the attorney, but who knows? I mean, what other attorneys could Charlie possibly get? It seems like he probably did consult with a lot of different attorneys, I'm guessing. Okay, last couple of days, that song Wendi, yeah, by The Association has been in my head. I've been trying to come up with alternate lyrics to a parody. Wendi, yeah, if you come up with anything creative, I would love to hear it too. Yeah, sometimes having music along with this kind of sad case makes things a little humorous. So, yeah. Rashbaum better do by release the proffer. Yeah. Well, of course he doesn't want to, because that's not in his client's interests, and that would hurt the Adelsons. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Don. Yeah, music is always great. Yeah, Kate Myers will take over. I don't think she likes Charlie Adelson. Yeah, well, if Charlie fires Rashbaum, then I'm sure he would also get rid of Kate Myers too, because that's the legal team right now. So yeah, who knows what could happen? A lot of strange things have happened in this case. Yeah, release the proffer already. Yeah, thank you, Todd. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, so Tony's got the information about that song. Yeah, flat fee he needs to stay on. Yeah, can you imagine, like, if Rashbaum got fired, then I guess the Adelson would probably sue him to get back part of the flat fee. Yeah, every time I look at a suitcase, oh yeah, it's kind of sad. It's like, wow, how did Jorge get squashed into that suitcase? It's just so awful. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Peanut. Yeah, hi, Sandra. Thanks for tuning in. We're almost done here, though. My voice is gone. So, yeah, she's like savagely attacking those Post-it notes. It's like crazy, like seeing her. It's like, what are you writing? Are you just like drawing a lot of like, it's like, what is that called? A spirograph or whatever that they used to have in the 80s? Yeah, where you just keep swirling around your pen over and over again and make weird designs. So, yeah. Okay, so let's end it on that note. Again, we all want justice for Dan Markel and his family, and all we're saying here are our own opinions and commentary on something that it's a matter of public interest. So, so let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's wait until Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Deep Dive True Crime. Mentor Lawyer will be live streaming the case management hearing, as well as the hearing on the motion to keep Katie's proffer confidential or sealed. And then we expect at 1 o'clock Eastern Time to have a live stream, which is going to be broadcast on his channel, Deep Dive True Crime, where Mentor Lawyer and I will react and discuss the case for anybody that wants to tune in. So thank you. Hope you guys have a great weekend then. Yeah, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate you guys caring about the case and everybody's great comments and information. Thank you. Have a good evening.